Welcome to The Explainer. If you're a product marketer, you know the feeling, right? That nagging question of how to really prove your work matters? Well, today, we are moving past gut feelings and diving straight into the hard data. We're going to give you the framework to prove your impact once and for all.
This classic quote from Peter Drucker is our starting point for a very good reason. In product marketing, if your impact isn't being measured, it's pretty much invisible. And if it's invisible, you can't get the resources, the respect, or, let's be honest, the credit you deserve for driving the business forward.
So, how do you actually do it? How do you take all of that amazing strategic work, the positioning, the messaging, the launch planning, and translate it into the language that leadership actually speaks? You know the one? Hard numbers. Let's build that translation guide together. Okay, Section 1. Why your metrics matter. I want you to start by thinking of data not as some kind of scary report card, but as your compass.
That's right. Your metrics are your compass. They're not just boring numbers on a spreadsheet. They are the hard evidence that your strategy is working. They prove you're driving adoption. They show you're keeping customers engaged. And, most critically, they draw a straight line from your work directly to revenue, getting everyone from sales to engineering aligned on what really moves the needle. So for Section 2, we're talking about the 5 key metric types. To build that compass, you've got to know where to look. And it turns out nearly every metric that truly matters to a product marketer falls into one of these 5 key areas. First up, we've got adoption and engagement. This category answers one really simple question. Are people actually using our stuff? Things like daily active users tell us if the product is sticky, while a metric like time to value shows us just how quickly we're delivering that aha moment you worked so hard to create. Next, go to market. This is all about the launch. Did it land? We measure this by tracking feature adoption in those first crucial 30, 60, and 90 days. We also keep a close eye on the win-loss ratio right after a launch to see if our new positioning is crushing competitors out in the field. Third, sales enablement. This is where your work visibly connects to cash in the bank. I mean, when you see reps using your battle cards and you see deal velocity speeding up, you're not just helping sales. You have a direct, measurable impact on revenue, period.
All right, number 4 is all about messaging. How do you know if that amazing story you're telling actually resonates with anyone? Well, you test it. A/B tests on headlines, bounce rates on your product pages, and even customer satisfaction scores all give you the data to prove your message is hitting home.
And finally, retention and expansion. Remember, your job doesn't end when the deal is signed. Metrics like churn rate and net revenue retention prove that product marketing is absolutely critical for keeping customers successful and finding new ways to deliver value, which drives those all-important upsells and long-term growth.
Okay, Section 3, setting smart goals. That was a lot of potential metrics, right? The secret isn't tracking everything. It's about tracking the right things. And that's where the good old SMART framework comes in.
Now, you've probably seen this before, but it's crucial for turning a vague wish into a concrete plan. So instead of saying, let's improve onboarding, a SMART goal is, we will increase onboarding completion from 60% to 80% within the next 90 days. See, all of a sudden, it's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. It's a real plan.
And here's what that looks like in practice. You start with a super clear objective, like improving your onboarding. You tie it to a specific metric, the completion rate, and you set a concrete target, like 85% or higher. Now, every single thing you do, from your emails to your in-app guides, has a clear definition of what success looks like.
Moving on to Section 4, tools and dashboards. So we know what to measure and how to set our goals. Now for the really practical part. How do you actually gather and visualize all this data?
Look, your tech stack doesn't need to be overwhelming. The real goal here is just to create a complete picture. You need web analytics to see the top of the funnel, a CRM for all the sales data, product tools like Pendo to see what's actually happening inside the app, and then finally a dashboard to pull it all together into one cohesive story. But here's the thing, a great dashboard does more than just show numbers. It tells a compelling story. The key is making it a shared, live resource. You want to focus on visualizing trends over time, not just static snapshots. And most importantly, you have to customize it for your audience.
show stakeholders the data that aligns with their goals, and then review it together to make data part of the actual strategic conversation.
All right, Section 5, putting it all together. We've got the theory, we've got the metrics, and we have the tools. Now let's walk through a real-world scenario to see how all of this comes to life.
So imagine this. Your team just launched a total game-changing feature for your mobile app. The launch itself went pretty well, but now the pressure is on from leadership to prove it was a success. So, where do you even start? Well, your goal is clear and it's smart. Drive feature adoption among mobile users within 60 days of the launch. Everything you do from this point forward will be measured against this one specific outcome.
You didn't just launch it and hope for the best, of course not. You executed a deliberate plan. First, you armed the sales team with walkthrough videos and FAQs. Then, you ran a targeted onboarding campaign for your existing users. And finally, you trained the entire customer success team so they were ready for any question. See? Every single action was tied directly to driving adoption.
So, what was the result? The big one? Within just 45 days, you hit a 38% feature adoption rate among your target mobile users. This is your headline number, the hard data that proves your go-to-market strategy worked and got people using the new feature.
But the impact went even deeper. Because your sales and support materials were so clear, you also saw a 22% reduction in support tickets related to that feature. You didn't just drive adoption, you did it efficiently, which saved the company a ton of time and resources.
And here is the final piece of the puzzle, the ultimate proof of your success. A 15% increase in your Net Promoter Score among users who actually adopted the feature. You didn't just get them to use it, you made them happier, more loyal customers. Now that is the kind of data-driven story that proves your value, no question. So I'll leave you with this question. Every launch, every campaign, every single piece of content you create is telling a story about the value of your product and your work. The only question left is your data good enough to prove it?